Hello, my friends. This is Marge Fenelon. I am here I'm talking quietly because I'm inside the shrine of Our Lady of Sorrows in Starkenburg, Missouri. We're looking at, right now, the main altar in the shrine. This building dates back to 1910, but the origins of the shrine here to Our Lady of Sorrows, the origin dates back, it boggles my mind. It dates back to 1848. So German immigrants from the town of Herman, which is actually the town I'm staying in during this trip, and I didn't even realize the link until I got here. The German settlers from Herman came to Starkenburg because it looked like their native Germany. They loved it because it resembled their native Germany. And so, now I'm talking so quick, I'm wiggling the camera, sorry. But in any case, they came here, it resembled their native Germany. They loved the place, and so here's where they established the shrine. Well, first it was the Church of Saint Martin, and I'll be writing about that more. They established the parish, and from that sprang this beautiful shrine of Our Lady of Sorrows. And I'm going to scan the shrine so you can get an idea. It's never the same as if you were here in person, but it is absolutely lovely. Absolutely lovely. So beautiful. The rose window up there, of course, is Our Lady of Sorrows, and surrounding her are members of the Servite order, the 7 founding members of the Servite order, who were instrumental in beginning the devotion to Our Lady of Sorrows. And I'm going to try to circle around here, if you will. And there's just so much to see that I wish I could go up to every window and every column and show you all these wonderful, wonderful things. But what I really want to show you right now, first of all, say hi. So you know I'm really here. But what I want to show you this shoe. This shoe, and I'm going to come down to it, and I'm going to pick it up. See it? It's an old shoe with a brace on it. The story behind this shoe, and I think if our Blessed Mother doesn't mind me putting it on this altar, since it was given to her here on this altar, this shoe belonged to a young woman who was born in 1935. She was born with a diseased leg, and the diseased one was much shorter than the other. And so she had to wear this special shoe so that she could walk correctly because of the disfiguration. This was in the time of polio. This was in the time in our country, and I think probably elsewhere in the world, where hospitals were places you went to die. That's where you went. You went to die at a hospital. They weren't the beautiful places of healing that they are today. Not the same at all. Well, the only solution that could be found, they thought, would be to do surgery on this leg. But before the parents agreed to the surgery, this young woman's parents, they brought her here to Our Lady. In the back, they have Lord's Grotto. And in the Lord's Grotto is a well. They call it the Lord's Well. They have mixed over time, again and again and again, original Lourdes in France. So holy water from Lourdes, they mix. I do have pictures, and I will be posting those. But I seem to pick, every time I do one of the places that, where it's really windy. So it's too windy, really, to be out. And so this water, this holy water, they took the young woman, and again, weeks on end, every day, they would bathe her leg in this holy water from the Lord's fountain, well. And when it came time for the surgery, they took her into the operating room, got her set up for surgery, this young woman, and when the doctor came in, he looked at the woman's leg and he said, "Why have you brought this young woman here? There's nothing wrong with her leg. She doesn't need surgery." And in Thanksgiving, the young woman brought the shoe here and left it here as a gift to our Blessed Mother for her intercession, for prayers answered. Just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And I think I'm going to put it back on the ground where it belongs. I think also you probably see these crutches. Now, I don't know the story behind the crutches, but I can tell you they are fully wooden, which tells me that they're probably pretty old. I think they've been here a good long time. But here's another thing that I want to tell you about the Lourdes Grotto here on the property of Our Lady of Sorrows. If you can see these plaques, these marble plaques hanging on the wall, and I'm going to walk a little bit. I hope it's not too annoying to watch the jiggling and movement of the camera, but you'll see some are in German, some are in English, the dates all over the place, 1904, 1905, there was one 1903, 1911, 1997, here's one from 1912. But I'm told that these are all plaques that have thank yous, because these are the people who have experienced, here's some very recent ones, who have experienced miracles because of those waters from the Lourdes Grotto here, from the Lourdes well here. And so, I mean, I could go for, they have them all over the church, so I could go for a good long time over and over again showing you these. But what I'd like to also show you is over here in the back corner, and if you just come with me, I'm lucky there are no other folks here in the shrine right now, otherwise I would disturb them from their prayer. Here is what I'm looking at, and that is, this was the original shrine. Shrine altar, pardon me, the altar for the shrine. This is the original, dating way back, and I have to do some research. I'm very sorry. I could not find anyone who give me the exact date of this altar, but it's pretty old. If you look at it closely, you can see some cracks and it needs a little bit of repair. But this was what they had originally, and then this other beautiful one that I showed you before was built. Now, last thing is this beautiful. Now, there's not a last thing. I could go forever. I want to show you this beautiful statue of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. Now, it's got a lot of backlighting there from the window, so maybe it's a little bit hard to see. But I think his face is so beautiful, and he calls to us, and he says, come. That's what I see when I look at this statue. He says, come and rest in my Sacred Heart. It's just a beautiful statue. Beautiful, beautiful. Now I have one last thing to tell you about, and that is something I learned that I'm going to research more when I get home. And I'm just going to go back to the main altar and kind of show you the front of the church again while I'm speaking. I learned that there was a seminarian from Germany. His last name was Hellriger. I'm very sorry. This Father Hellriger, he was ordained here in 1910. He came in the 1920s, early 1900s, was ordained in 1914. There was another priest. I learned so much today, I'm getting them mixed up. 1914, he was ordained here in the Church of St. Martin, here on the property of Our Lady of Sorrows shrine. This young man is actually, and I'm gonna, if you don't mind, I'm gonna run for my notebook so I can get his name correctly, but I'm gonna still keep showing you this beautiful altar. His full name, Martin Hellriegel. He later became a Monsignor. This young man loved it here so much, so close to his native Germany. He would call America, he would call Starkenburg his American home. That's how much he loved it. But what he did while he was here, this is pretty fascinating to me. For those of you who attend Catholic services, if you're familiar with the hymn, To Jesus Christ, Our Sovereign King, I could start singing it for you, but my voice is terrible, and you would immediately stop viewing this video. He wrote that hymn. It's very, very interesting. Now I'm looking at questions here, and how much do you need? I'm not understanding. Their question. Tommy, can you say it again? Can you give me a different question, because it's hard to understand what you're asking me. And while I'm waiting for that, I'm happy to answer questions. If you have questions, please just type them in, and I'll be happy to answer them. In any case, to Jesus Christ, our Sovereign King. So, if you attend Catholic services, you'll see that's a pretty famous Catholic hymn. And he wrote that. He wrote that while he was here. Now, the interesting thing about that is when he wrote it, way back when he wrote it, you're talking about early 1900s. And, probably World War I-ish time period. When he wrote it, he originally, instead of using the word Redeemer in the hymn, he used the word commander. Commander. He used the word commander in reference to our Lord. And I'm still meditating on that. This is the side altar. Beautiful, beautiful, kind of a remake of the Pieta, but yet it's Our Lady of La Salle. So it's beautiful the way they have blended, in a sense, the different titles of Blessed Mother. But anyway, getting back to Commander, I find that a fascinating difference, because what we say now, obviously, Redeemer, and the reason that was changed is because when we went into World War II, of course, there were some not good things about commanders in the news, in the world, and so they changed it to Redeemer so that it would be, I guess, more acceptable. That's not quite the word I want, but in any case, fascinating. Who knew that beautiful hymn that we sing so often and cherish was written here in Starkenburg, Missouri. Fascinating, fascinating. I'd like to tell you more. They have outdoor stations of the cross. Very shortly, I'll be going to the actual Church of St. Martin, which is no longer a working parish, but rather it's a special chapel and is also a museum. So that building dates back to 1873. 1873. It's fascinating. Very soon, I will post some pictures of a log chapel that dates way back into the early 1800s. That is was the original chapel to Our Lady of Sorrows. And can't wait to post and tell you about that. Now, if there aren't other questions, I think that maybe I might close this video, but I'll wait a minute and just keep yakking in the case that you do have questions. One of the things that strikes me about this place is that it's open all day long for people to come and go, and it reminds me a little bit of Our Lady of Good Help. And I'm going to turn this around maybe so you can see me. Hey there, folks. It reminds me a little bit of Our Lady of Good Help in Champion, Wisconsin. The reason is it's also out in farm country, very quiet out here, very, very quiet, rolling hills. There are some fabulous, a miracle isn't really fabulous. I guess it depends on how you look at it. But there's some very remarkable miracles that have taken place here that have to do directly with the German farmers who had settled here. So I can tell you very quickly just one. I don't want to give away the whole story because I want you to buy the book once it becomes available. And I want you to go see these places for yourself. So I don't want to overload you with information, but I just want to pique your curiosity. And that miracle happened in 1891. And at that time, they had a downpour that was so bad, the poor farmers could not get their crops in. And so they held a procession to the Blessed Mother, asking her, please help us, please intercede. Well, the day after the procession, it was sunny and things dried up. The farmers were able to get their crops in and had a marvelous harvest that year. That's just one of the many amazing things that have happened in this place of grace. And so if you're anywhere near Starkenburg, even if you're not near, come see this place. Come see it. Come say hello to our Blessed Mother. Come learn about the rich, rich Catholic heritage that we have here in the U.S. And take in the graces that are waiting for you here, because they are waiting for you. And I hope you'll come.